Okay, I'm looking very sweaty. I am out here in South Carolina about to go to Lynn Wood's gathering, Patriot Rally, and I'm here in my Mike Gill Pandora Papers shirt. I had this shirt made up a few months ago. I hope not to offend him. I planned this trip and took the drive before I saw the latest stuff on X that I guess, is it Crash, that had asked about Mike Gill. Anyway, I'm just gonna see what he says and how it goes. And Mike Gill and Lynn Wood are my two heroes. I think I'm excited to meet him tonight. Really am. Hope I get to meet Mike Gill someday too. All right. God bless America. Okay. Well, I'm in my van. After the Lynn Wood thing, I'm actually still here at Motley. I'm kind of disappointed, to tell you the truth. I asked Lynn about Mike Gill, and he said he thinks he's a Flintster, and I was like, no sir. He's like, well, what has he done? And I'm like, went on to tell him that he's called everybody out, and I was like, well, initially, you know, first of all, he was worth like $300 million. He was the biggest mortgage broker in the country. And then he went on to, and he was like, well, that's a bad sign. And I was like, okay. Anyway, these people are here. All right, hi. Actually in this old cemetery, but this is the view. So beautiful here. I'm actually up in North Carolina now. My air conditioning's out on that van, and I just doing delivery. I hope I don't lose my job. I have like no money. Feeling sad, but anyway, I wanted to just say that I went to South Carolina basically for the Lynn Wood rally to wear my Mike Gill shirt, and you know, it was a really contentious conversation. I was sweet, I felt like, and he was just like, the first thing he said was, I think he's a Flinian. And I said, no sir, you know, he's called Flynn out, he's called the whole apparatus out in New Hampshire, and it's not just, he's called the Democrats out, he's a, you know, ardent Trump supporter. And he was like, well, I didn't buy it when I heard about it. And I don't want to hear anymore, he said. I said, okay, enjoy your meal. It was just, and then like the actual preacher there, he was literally talking about the South will rise again and Jefferson Davis and states' rights and all that. And yeah, states' rights, but don't try to break up my country. I don't like talking about secession and that kind of stuff. I don't like that. And all about, you know, we don't put our faith in one man and everything. And, you know, combine that with him saying that the assassination attempt was basically a false flag or just a joke or something, like by Trump's team. I don't really like that. I don't trust Lynn Wood now. And, you know, I only trust Mike Gill. I don't know why Mike Gill won't talk to me. So anyway, it's just me out here in this life. But at least I've gotten to see some of our beautiful country. It's so beautiful. Everything's so expensive though. Groceries are just nuts. Gas even. So I just made $14 just now doing 3 deliveries. But you know what I actually net on that with gas, I don't know. But I'm just gonna keep at it. So anyway, bye. Just sitting here eating Twitter. I really like Rep Luna, Anna Paulina Luna. I think maybe that's who Trump actually wanted to pick. I don't know why I think that. I guess I know she wasn't on any of the lists and everything, but I just think she's really for him. And also she like posted that picture of JD Vance with like some tattered flags almost in the background, with him like having his arms up, like kind of. And also just like no other comment, just this picture. I don't know. I kind of agree that it's possible that, you know, Trump was forced to pick J.D. Vance. He's been on my radar for like a year because that Ryan Gardesky, that's like Ann Coulter's handler, I think. I mean, right after the election in 2020, like days after, I went to go listen to Ann Coulter at OU in Norman, Oklahoma. You know, I guess I hadn't followed her closely in the months before the election, but like she was just ecstatic that Trump didn't win. And I was like, what the heck? You know, this is In Trump We Trust. And actually I'd read In Trump We Trust. Or no, I read Adios America, her book. Anyway, and yeah, that Ryan Gardesky was with her down there in Oklahoma. And then for the last 4 years, she's like, you know, every day, literally, you know, retweeted him and stuff like that. And, you know, he was O'Keefe's second employee ever. Okay, and I have those receipts, as they say, those articles. So he's O'Keefe as well. Anyway, he's pushing J.D. Vance and just that whole group. Even, you know, Ann Coulter is like a brilliant choice. And yeah, you know, actually I even found Brendan initially through Whitney Webb. And, you know, I haven't listened to her whole breakdown, but I do think she's smart, you know. But even that Last American Vagabond or whatever, he's like retweeting Ben Swann back and forth. So, I mean, I think Brendan could be right that it is a big network and there isn't really anybody sincere. He may even be right about Julian Romanello from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which I didn't know her when I hooked him up with her. I just was like, had been following her in my own city and was like, this chick is smart. I mean, I didn't hook him up with her. Actually, she had joined up his Patreon before he reached out to her. I just mentioned who she was. Anyway, but she was never a Trump person. I didn't really like that, which is like, yeah, support whoever you want, but, excuse me. In these times, like, especially with the COVID thing and everything, Trump was the only one wanting to keep the country open and just obviously. So it's like they just hate him. And for me, it's like why? Because they're going to expose something. So I've also found out a lot more about this connections with Mary Silva and the Pandora's box. I'll be going into that. Okay, last thing. I mean, I did, as like within literally hours, like the first couple of days after I found out about Mike Gill, I went to Julianne Romanello's, like she had a meeting, happened to be in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, just nearby. And I asked her one of the questions, and I think it's still online, I'll try to find that clip. You know, are you aware of the allegations out of New Hampshire with Mike Gill? She was like, no. And I said, you know, do you work for General Flynn? And she said, no. I met her and she said, you know, Brandon's been so awful, I don't even want to do it anymore. And so I kind of just, that was like when I met her. And I felt bad for her because I understand how Brandon can be. But now, I don't know. I think, you know, she had a weird response. I also asked, you know, and your cameraman, he worked for Nigel Farage. Like, what are the chances? I don't really know. So, anyways, I look so bad. Oh well.
Really, you don't even need a chip in your hand because the cameras and facial recognition is so fine-tuned that you're already identifiable. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Are you aware of the Mike Gill allegations and his evidence out in New Hampshire? Mike Gill?
No.
Or your cameraman, Mike Gill? Because I know General Flynn knows all about his evidence. Do you work with General Flynn?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you have a comment about the Israeli aspect of Tulsa and the 8200 taking over TU? Because you used to talk about
one question per person. We got a lot of people.
Oh, well, just the Tulsa connection with the Israeli tech, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, we have, if you look, so, you know, I started into this because of a takeover of TU. And as I started asking, what are they doing? Why are they destroying a good liberal arts university? One key component of it, it's in the strategic plan for the University of Tulsa, is that they want to create a cybersecurity empire. And this is through Team 8, and which goes back to Unit 8200 of Israeli intelligence and George Kaiser Family Foundation in the city of Tulsa. So when I first started looking into this, we are getting so much investment by these Israeli cyber companies that when you look at what a smart city is and how it has to be managed, you know, there's a huge emphasis on security, and someone's got to run all of that data and ensure that it's secure. Well, it's not our domestic institutions that are doing it. It's a foreign government that's doing it. And that's something that, you know, we just have to face the reality of that. I mean, there
I'm going to encroach
major
on the
interest there.
questionnaires here, but what is the incentive for these crazy-ass liberal people? What is their incentive other than, are they that demented that they want a socialized communistic society? Is that, I mean,
You